$212 million in 10 years. By the way, think about the fact that you are supporting the teachers' union. You pay taxes, the money goes from your pocket into the teacher's pocket. Teacher doesn't see it, goes right out the other side of the teacher, right into the union. You are supporting the unions. And the union socks it to you another way because they don't collect their own dues. The school district does. In the same way the school district takes out money for taxes, they take out the union dues. And you are paying for that also. Where does the union spend their money?
The Democrats.
SB 48. They are lobbying heavily for SB 48. As we mentioned before, this is going to put where you have to mention every time you mention an ethnic group or somebody's sexuality, or famous person, you have to mention what ethnic group they're from and what their sexuality is. Oh, by the way, another part of SB 48 says you cannot speak badly of any ethnic group. So basically, I guess we can't teach your kids anymore that the Nazis were Germans. We can't say that the people who who flew the planes into the World Trade Center were Muslims. We can't say that the Ku Klux Klan are white people. How sanitized are we going to make history? So the CTA is behind things like SB 48. By the way, the CFT, in its recent convention in Southern California, this hit the blogosphere big time the last few days, you might know about it. They passed a resolution to get Mumia Abu Jamal out of prison.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's a cop killer. Murdered a cop in Philadelphia. Why is the teachers union getting involved in this? It's a radical agenda. A few years ago, remember Proposition 8? Proposition 8 said simply a marriage should stay between a male and a female. CTA didn't like that. $1.25 million to defeat it. Fortunately, they did. If you remember back in 2005, when everybody was thrilled to be rid of Gray Davis, and in 2003 and 2005, Arnold came up with his propositions. Didn't work out too well, unfortunately. One of those propositions was the Paycheck Protection Initiative. It was Prop 75. See, the way things are now for teachers, the union takes out your political money. That's the default position. This proposition would have made it where teachers would have to voluntarily give up the money, which once again I think is the American way. You want to give money to your union to spend politically, I think you have a right to do that. But the union takes it now. Teachers have to go through hoops to not do that. That law would change things. Clearly, about 90% of the teachers would not be giving that money to CTA. So CTA went into overdrive that year. They mortgaged their building in Burlingame. They upped teachers' dues. They never asked teachers about if they wanted this proposition to pass, by the way. Upped their dues, $60 a year over 3 years, $180. Lied to everybody over the summer. They told teachers if this thing goes through, you're going to lose your pension, you're going to lose your health benefits. They lied, they lied, they lied. Unfortunately, teachers bought it, the general public bought it. Prop 75 went down. CTA went to bat for a single-payer health plan a couple of years ago. Fortunately, Arnold, one of the few good things he did was to veto that. If you remember Prop 1A and 1B, yet another scheme from Sacramento to raise your taxes. CTA was really behind that one. They love that one. Just think about it. And they spent basically the money they get, which is taxpayers' money, to raise taxpayers' taxes. This is the system we have in place now. What can we do? There's a lot you can do. First of all, the most important thing you can do is please don't assume. Now, I don't know any of you or what kind of school your kids go to, but please do not assume that just because you live in a nice house in a great neighborhood in a good zip code, that your kid's school is okay. If you've gone there and you talk to the principal, you talk to the teachers, you know what kind of where your kids go on field trips, fine, you might be in a good school. God bless you if you are. But talk to your kids every day. Find out what they're learning. See what holidays they're celebrating. Ask your kids what they learned about the Day of Silence today. Look at their textbooks, please. I mean, parents, grandparents, if you have a neighbor who has a kid, has to see their history book. I think you'll be shocked, and not in a good way. Talk to your friends and neighbors about these things. Go to school board meetings and raise these issues. In fact, I just learned about 2 weeks ago, there was an article in some newspaper that Tea Partiers are getting very involved in local school board elections. I couldn't have been happier when I read something. If you have the time, you might need some backing, because if you're known as a Tea Partier, a conservative, a libertarian, your local union will probably fight you tooth and nail. But if you can get on the school board, you get backing from some neighbors, I think that would be a worthy thing to do. It's not a glorious job, it's not a glamorous job, a very worthy job. I mean, I know we all want to get rid of Obama in 2012, but that's important. But there's a lot happening on the local level that we can all do. Go to PTA meetings, raise these issues, talk to principals at your local schools, fax your congressman, your assemblyman, your city council people. Volunteer at your school. See what goes on. You'll be doing a good deed. If you are retired, you have some time, call your local principal, say, I'd like to work with children. They'll be especially glad to have you now, because they're losing support staff left and right due to the economy, and I'm sure they love to have volunteers. And frankly, at the same time, you can be a watchdog. You can find out what's going on in your school. Look for legislation. There will be something on the ballot probably next year which will limit the power of the teachers' unions. There is no more worthy cause than limiting the power of those unions. And all public employee unions, I might add. My organization, which is called the California Teachers Empowerment Network, we just try to get information to teachers, because most teachers are clueless as to so many of the things I'm even talking about today, even though they're in the schools. We have an Act Now page on the website, c10home.org. We have some brochures back there if you care to pick one up on the way out. We have something called an Act Now page. It's Achieving Change Together, just with everything I've talked about here and some other ideas about how you can get involved in taking our schools back. The cultural decay in schools in general is mind-boggling, and it has to change if this country is going to continue. Or I should say, if we're going to turn around the country, because the path we're on now is not a very good one. And I know you're all here, and you're here because you care. So please somehow, please get involved in these issues. Thank you very much.